When most people think about longevity, they think about diet, exercise, or genetics. But here's the surprising truth. Your mental health may be one of the most strongest predictors of how long and how well you live. Depression, anxiety, chronic stress, they don't just affect how you feel today. Actively, they accelerate the aging process inside your body. Today, we will explore how mental health influences longevity, what science says about the brain-body connection, and how integrative therapies from the gut health to vagus nerve stimulation can transform not only your mood, but your health span and lifespan. So let's start with a sobering reality. Chronic depression or anxiety isn't just emotionally draining. It literally shortens life. On average, individuals with these conditions live 10 to 15 years less than those without. And it's not primarily due to suicide. The largest drivers of early death are heart attack, stroke, type 2 diabetes, dementia, and certain cancers, conditions fueled by stress biology, inflammation, and metabolic disruption. In other words, mental health is a life or death biological factor, not just a quality of life issue. Mental disorder accelerates mortality risk independently of lifestyle. Early interventions in mood and anxiety disorder can reduce downstream cardiovascular and metabolic burdens. So, chronic stress is one of the main ways mental health shortens life. When the brain perceives persistent threat, it activates the hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axis, flooding the body with cortisol. Short-term cortisol is protective. It metabolizes energy, it sharpens focus, but chronic elevation is toxic because it raises blood sugar and insulin, increasing diabetes risk. It weakens immune surveillance, making infections and cancers more likely. It shrinks hippocampus and other brain structures, impairing memory and cognition. It drives central fat accumulation, increasing cardiovascular risk. So effectively, chronic stress translates emotional suffering into accelerated physical aging. Cortisol disruption, it predicts all-cause mortality and is linked to epigenetic age acceleration. Reducing chronic stress can actually extend health span and protect metabolic health. Depression and anxiety are often accompanied by low-grade systemic inflammation. So labs markers like CRP, interleukin-6, and TNF-alpha are frequently elevated. So why does it matter? Because these speeds atherosclerosis, heart attack, strokes. It disrupts insulin signaling, causing metabolic syndrome and diabetes, or contributing to those. Damaging DNA and mitochondria accelerates cellular aging. It affects the brain. It worsens cognition and mood regulation. Emotional pain literally triggers chemical stress that accelerates aging across multiple organ systems. So, chronic inflammation drives inflammaging, which is a key hallmark of biological aging. Anti-inflammatory interventions such as diet, exercise, omega-3s protect both mood and lifespan. So now let's talk about telomeres. They are the protective caps at the ends of chromosomes. They function like a biological clock. Every cell division shortens them. Studies link chronic depression and anxiety to shortened telomeres and epigenetic age acceleration, meaning cells and tissues age faster. This increases susceptibility to age-related diseases from cardiovascular disease to dementia. Poor mental health literally makes your body biologically older, beyond your chronological age. So telomere shortening accelerates with it correlates with reduced lifespan and higher risk of chronic diseases. Interventions reducing stress and inflammation can slow telomere attrition, offering a longevity benefit. Now, mental health conditions also disrupts hormone balance. Cortisol spikes impair sleep, increases visceral fat, insulin resistance develops faster, diabetes and heart disease risk rises, sex hormone imbalances such as low testosterone or fluctuating estrogen, which increase vulnerability to depression and metabolic dysfunction. These imbalances reinforce a vicious cycle, accelerating cellular and systemic aging. So, hormonal homeostasis is critical for metabolic and cardiovascular longevity. Targeted interventions, sleep, stress management, adaptogens, hormone optimizations can reduce metabolic aging. Finally, chronic mental health issues increase the risk of cognitive decline and dementia. Elevated inflammation, cortisol dysregulation, and metabolic stress collectively accelerates brain aging. Study shows individuals with depression in midlife are more likely to develop dementia in later years. Mental health is therefore crucial for protecting the mind over the long term. So cognitive preservation is a major predictor of health span. Interventions targeting stress, inflammation, and metabolism have dual benefits: mood and brain longevity. So to summarize, poor mental health accelerates aging on multiple levels, which includes organs, cellular, and cognitive. It's not just about quality of life, it's about longevity. Addressing mental health proactively is essential for living longer, healthier, and cognitively sharper lives. So now let's break down the signs. Depression is tied to higher CRP, interleukin 6, TNF alpha. These inflammatory signals drive heart disease, dementia, and even cancers. So poor mental health reduces vagal tone as well, and HRV, both powerful predictors of mortality. Your gut microbiome produce neurotransmitters like serotonin and regulates inflammation. Dysbiosis is linked to anxiety and depression, but also to aging. Hormone imbalances like stress flattens the cortisol rhythm, menopause disrupts estrogen signaling, thyroid shifts occur, and all of these accelerates brain and body aging. So when your mind suffers, your body literally ages faster. So now let's do an interactive approaches to mental health and longevity. Let's start with the adaptogens, plants that help your body adapt to stress and modulate the hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axis. 3 of these adaptogens stands out that you should be aware. One is ashwagandha, which reduces cortisol, alleviates stress and anxiety, and may improve sleep quality. Clinical trials shows reduction in perceived stress by up to 44% over 60 days. Rhodiola rosea, which boosts resilience to physical and mental fatigue, improves mood and cognitive endurance. Saffron, small but robust study shows antidepressant effects comparable to first-line medications in mild to moderate depression. By reducing chronic cortisol exposure, inflammation, and oxidative stress, adaptogens can slow telomere attrition, improves metabolic balances, and support brain plasticity, directly linking stress resilience to longer health span. So now let's do an interactive approaches to mental health and longevity. Let's start with the adaptogens, plants that help your body adapt to stress and modulate the hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axis. 3 of these adaptogens stands out that you should be aware. One is ashwagandha, which reduces cortisol, alleviates stress and anxiety, and may improve sleep quality. Clinical trials shows reduction in perceived stress by up to 44% over 60 days. Rhodiola rosea, which boosts resilience to physical and mental fatigue, improves mood and cognitive endurance. Saffron, small but robust study shows antidepressant effects comparable to first-line medications in mild to moderate depression. By reducing chronic cortisol exposure, inflammation, and oxidative stress, adaptogens can slow telomere attrition, improves metabolic balances, and support brain plasticity, directly linking stress resilience to longer health span. Now, the vagus nerve is the superhighway of your parasympathetic nervous system, controlling heart rate, inflammation, and gut-brain signaling. FDA approved for treatment-resistant depression, improves mood and autonomic regulations, and that includes the implanted VNS. The transcutaneous VNS and HRV breathing are non-invasive. They require 15 to 20 minutes per day, improves heart rate variability, lowers inflammatory markers, and reduces anxiety. So better vagal tone means lower systemic inflammation, improves cardiovascular resilience, and enhanced cellular repair pathways. All factors that slow biological aging and reduce chronic disease risk. Biofeedback, particularly heart rate variability training, allows you to consciously regulate physiological responses. By synchronizing breathing with heart rate, we stimulate the parasympathetic system, reduce stress, and enhance emotional regulation. Studies show reductions in anxiety, improved sleep, and lower blood pressure in regular patients. Improved HRV is a powerful predictor of reduced all-cause mortality. Biofeedback not only lifts mood, but directly supports cardiovascular and metabolic health, making it a longevity tool. Your gut is often called the second brain, and for good reason. Microbiomes produce neurotransmitters, regulates inflammations, and communicate with the brain through the vagus nerve. Mediterranean-style diet, which includes high fiber, omega-3s, polyphenols, and fermented food, which reduces depressive symptoms and improve cognition. Psychobiotics are the specific probiotics which may enhance mood and reduce anxiety. Anti-inflammatory nutrients such as omega-3s, polyphenols, and probiotic fibers support metabolic health and reduce oxidative stress. A healthy gut microbiome supports immune function, reduces systemic inflammation, and promotes metabolic and brain health, all translating to longer health span and lifespan. Finally, let's talk about exercise and mindfulness. Aerobic and resistance training improve insulin sensitivity, reduces visceral fat, and increase neurotropic factors like BDNF, enhancing brain plasticity. Exercise also shows telomere shortening and improve heart rate variability. Mindfulness and meditation reduces cortisol, improves emotion regulation, and decreases inflammatory markers like CRP and IL-6. So regular physical activity and mindfulness practices reverse stress biology, protect the brain, and slow cellular aging, making them foundational for both mental health and lifespan. So these integrative approaches are evidence-based, safe, and synergistic. Each targets core pathway: stress, inflammation, autonomic regulation, and metabolic health that link mental wellness to slower biological aging and longer, healthier life. By combining these strategies, we don't just improve mood, we protect the body, the brain, and the lifespan. Now, let's do a practical longevity approach. So, in terms of sleep, this is a non-negotiable for longevity. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of high quality sleep. Consistent schedule, go to bed and wake up at the same time daily to optimize circadian rhythm. Darkness at night and morning light exposure supports melatonin production, reduces inflammation, and regulates cortisol. Poor sleep accelerates telomere shortening, increases inflammation, and raises risks for heart disease, diabetes, and cognitive decline. Sleep isn't downtime, it's cellular repair time. Food is information for your genes. Focus on whole foods, high fiber, and antioxidants. Omega-3 rich fish and nuts to reduce inflammation. Fermented foods to support the gut-brain axis. Diets like the Mediterranean pattern reduces cardiovascular disease, improve cognition, and are associated with slower epigenetic aging. Daily HRV, breathing, and biofeedback extremely valuable. 15 to 20 minutes of controlled breathing at 6 breaths per minute can really stimulate the vagus nerve, improving heart rate variability, reduce cortisol and inflammation, enhance emotional resilience. Higher HRV predicts lower all-cause mortality and better cardiovascular and metabolic health. Biofeedback practices literally train your body to age slower. Now, exercise isn't just about weight. Exercise includes cardio for your heart, lungs, and brain health, strength training to preserve muscles and bones, flexibility and balance work to prevent injuries. Exercise enhances BDNF, which is for brain plasticity, preserve telomeres, improves insulin sensitivity, and reduces inflammation. It's the single most powerful lifestyle intervention for extending health span. Now, safe adaptogens under medical guidance can really buffer stress, reduce cortisol, support mood and energy. While they aren't a replacement for a lifestyle, they complement sleep, exercise, and nutrition, helping your body resist chronic stress-induced aging. Finally, don't underestimate connection. Loneliness accelerates biological aging, raises inflammation, and increases risk for heart disease, depression, and dementia. Invest in relationship, community, shared experiences. Your lifespan and health span depends on it. So what's really important are small daily habits compounds. Sleep, nutrition, breathing, movement, stress management, and connections are the pillar of mental wellness and longevity. By integrating them consistently, you slow biological aging, protect your mind, and live longer, healthier, and happier life. The takeaway is clear. Mental health is not just about feeling better, it's about living longer and healthier. By addressing inflammation, gut health, vagal tones, and hormones, and by integrating powerful tools like biofeedback, adaptogens, and nutrition, you're not just treating symptoms, you're actively slowing aging. Protect your mind and you extend your life. Thank you for joining me today. Here's to mental resilience, healthy aging, and thriving in the years ahead.